We have a really important update for you on attempts to hold the Sackler family. Those are the founders of Purdue Pharma that made OxyContin that helped lead to the horrific opioid addiction crisis that we've had in this nation. So attempts to hold them accountable. This is according to the New York Times. We can throw this up on the screen. David Sackler, they haven't really wanted to testify, but this dude, David Sackler, actually testified in a court of law this week. He said that he and his family, the owners of Purdue Pharma, would withdraw a $4.5 billion pledge to help opioid-devastated communities unless they are granted broad legal immunity, okay? So they were coming close to a deal that would have provided this fund of $4.5 billion to help the communities that were hit the hardest in the opioid crisis. He and his family are now taking the position of like, I don't know if we're gonna go ahead and give those billions unless we get complete and utter legal immunity. And let me just give you a sense of how broad-reaching what they want actually is. And this is reading from that New York Times report. He said the family anticipated their liability shield would cover Mr. Sackler there, other members of his extensive family, about 1,000 other individuals, including contractors and consultants, and protect them from lawsuits that had nothing to do with opioids. That means they would be forever immunized from any current and future lawsuits worldwide related to any of their drugs. So not just opioids, things like addiction reversal, things like high cholesterol, constipation as a result of taking prescription opioid pills, all of that. They would be granted blanket, lifetime, forever immunity, not just the Sacklers, but these 1,000, circle in their sort of like criminal gang here also would get that immunity. That's what they want.
Yeah, and it's classic, which is that they are the immense fortune that they made from killing 500,000 Americans. Who even knows how many people are still strung out?
Yeah.
Billions of dollars.
Ruining lives.
Ruining lives, ruining families, sparking this entire thing. They are now using that fortune as collateral, not the whole fortune, by the way, tiny sliver, 4.5 billion, as collateral, and saying, if you don't give us blanket immunity on everything, then screw you and screw the dollars. That was the deal that was come to. And even that deal was not nearly enough. Yeah. Even that deal wasn't enough.
That's right.
4.5 billion. And now even that is being subject to political pressure. And look, they put their name on the Met, right? They had the Sackler, hospitals, art galleries, and all of that. They bought the access to the elites in Washington. They got away with this sweetheart deal, and now they're trying to make it even more of a sweetheart deal.
It was really pretty interesting, too. As I said before, the Sacklers have been loath to actually testify in any of these proceedings. But this guy, his name's David Sackler, he's 41. He's a former board member, and he's grandson of one of the founders. They were trying to pin him down on whether they were culpable, whether they had any responsibility for the lives that they had completely ruined, families destroyed, all of that, this devastation that we've seen. Here's the kind of jargon and weaselly speak that this guy used. He said, well, the balance between risk and societal benefit is, I think, beyond question. So I bristle at the notion that people are dying as the only barometer of these medications. So, people dead, that's just one of many basket of metrics that we should be looking at here. There were also many good things, so let's not forget about that part.
Yeah, this is just classic. I mean, the way that they speak, the callousness, the lack of accountability, all of this has always been one of the worst, absolute worst things that has happened. And we've tracked this for years, Krystal, how the Sackler family, allegedly, for the lawyers and all that, have been able to get away with so much of this. And it just goes to show that they are willing to weaponize even the sweetheart deal the prosecutors gave them in order to try and get even more of an advantage for themselves.
And I just want people to understand, this wasn't a well-meaning drug went wrong.
Yes.
From every step of the process, they manipulated the government regulators and lied to the doctors and the healthcare professionals that were prescribing Oxy to convince them that it was not, in fact, addictive or habit-forming. From the original labeling that was put on the drug, when they were first testing it, a lot of the feedback they were getting from doctors was like, Yeah, I'm worried that this should only be used for like, pain associated with end of life or like cancer care, like these sort of relatively extreme circumstances, because I believe this will be addictive. So they made sure after they got that feedback from the focus groups to work over the regulators so that they got in this completely BS line in the labeling that says it's believed that this is less habit forming, less addictive than other forms of pain relief. Well, that turned out to be completely false. It was based on zero evidence at all. And then as they saw the deaths and the addiction piling up, rather than saying, oh, we got a problem here, we got to do something, instead they further pushed the drug and tried to incentivize it even more to profit off of people's illness, pain, and death. So that's why this wasn't just like, oh, they didn't know and they like hindsight's 2020. No, they were directly complicit in pushing this on people who, did not need it, and ultimately in way too many instances led to either the loss of their life or, a devastating spiral of addiction that they've struggled to get out of. So even on this much belated and far too little attempt to provide some accountability and some modicum of justice, they appear to be trying to wiggle out of it as best they can.
That's right.
All right, we're going to have more for you guys later. Have a good one. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching.
That's right. Just as a reminder, you can become a premium subscriber today. Watch the full show completely uncut, our reactions to each other's monologues. You get to listen to it. You get to ask us questions, all that good stuff. Link is right there in the description or at breakingpoints.com.
Best of all, great way to say screw you to the mainstream media.